Well, with that very holy beginning, welcome to Unity of Mesa. We're so glad that you're here today. My name is Reverend Mindy Tucker, and I am not the speaker, but I'm the beginner person. The speaker today is Reverend Nickie Golden. Joining us on the platform is Candy Lewis. Our board member of the day is Karen Pfeiffer. Our vocalist this morning is new to this community, and she is just going to blow your hair back. Her name is Alyssa. Chiarello. Haha. Stephen Chavez is on the piano. Join me for singing Resurrect Your Soul. Resurrect your soul. Wake up and be whole. Open your eyes and see you are your destiny. Resurrect your soul. Let your truth unfold. Now is your season, your time. Renew your heart and your mind. Resurrect your soul. Let your heart be whole. Open your eyes and see you are your destiny. Resurrect your soul. Let your truth unfold. Now is your season, your time. Renew your heart and your mind. Now is your season, your time. Renew your heart and your mind. Thank you so much. Please be seated. I'm going to invite Charlotte Kessler to come and join me on the platform. Charlotte is sharing our affirmation of the day.
I am a creative expression of life. Together.
I am a creative expression of life. And so it is.
When I was young, I would look in the mirror. Didn't know it then, now it couldn't be clearer. That I remember being filled with such wonder before learning that the world could be harsher. Who you love or the color of your skin or the place that you were born or grew up in shouldn't decide how you will be treated, 'cause we're all the same when everybody's breathing, waiting for a change to set us free. Waiting for the day when you can be you and I can be me. Waiting for the hope to come around. Waiting for the day when hate is lost and love is found. Waiting for a change. Waiting for a change. Change. For all the brave and the souls who went before us, stand tall and proudly lift your voices. Let them know who we are and our choices. And one day we won't have to sing this chorus. Waiting for a change to set us free. Waiting for the day when you can be you and I can be me. Waiting for the hope to come around. Waiting for the day when hate is lost and love is found. waiting for a change, waiting for a change. I'm waiting for a change. When I was young, I would look in the mirror. Didn't see it then, but now it couldn't be clearer.
Thank you so much for that. Well, good morning. I have a few things to share with you. Did any of you make it to the mindfulness meditation this morning? Few people, all right. It's such a lovely way to start the day. Karen Pfeiffer beautifully guides us through every second and fourth Sunday before service. And you can also join her and Tony LaMantia on Tuesday mornings for the online Sangha meditation group. And I can tell you, if you've even thought about joining, give it a try. It's an incredible group. It's full of beautiful energy, wonderful meditation, and it's such a loving, supporting, compassionate group. We usually start with maybe a small meditation or a chant. We check in with each other. We discuss a topic that we've been given for the week, and then we do a longer meditation, and we finish by checking in with each other again. Again, if you've even thought about it, give it a try. It's amazing. All of us have said at different times, it really anchors us in for the week. I know if I ever have to miss it, it's distressing. So every Friday morning at 10 a.m. on Facebook, you will find 5-minute Bible talks. John Groves hosts these 5-minute talks, exploring, questioning, and reclaiming meaning from the text historically, socially, and spiritually. And this is not designed to be a scholarly discourse, but a genuine search for meaning and understanding. And in honor of Arbor Day and Earth Day, 2 of our youth, Olivia and Charlotte, wanted to plant a tree here at Unity of Mesa. I just love that. And they invite you to join them Saturday, April 30th, to come and bless our new tree to flourish and to provide a legacy for future generations. You're always welcome to dig into, be here at 8 a.m. on Saturday. Find all the information you need about upcoming services, events, and more on our Things for You to Know page at Unity of Mesa. Now, there's one final piece of news. Our dear Dennis Hubert has stepped down as music director. He guided us through the pandemic and now is moving on to Unity Church of Sun Lakes. Let us bless him together in this new endeavor. And Dennis, you feel it, Dennis. And we do have a gift for you, so be sure to check in and receive this blessing from the church.
Dennis, we
Love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in you. Thank you so much, Dennis. I can attest to how great you were to work here. Well, thank you all for sharing your love and light with us this morning. Please know that your soul is welcome here. And now let's share our guiding statement to remind us why we come together. Together, we are here to experience more of the fullness of who we truly are in order to transform the world. All are welcome here.
We are all welcome here. And we are here today to play with, and I mean the words play with. Are you willing to play with me? We're to here with, yes, I love that. We're here to play, expanding our creativity. I want to show you Think about creativity as our light. You are light. Jesus said, we are the light of the world. And think about yourself as being the light of the world in this moment. I'm going to ask you to put your hands here and just open up your light and let it flow. Yeah, open up your light and let it flow. Yeah, open up your light and let it flow. I am a creative expression of life. So we've been opening our light, and we are a creative expression of life. We are all creators. Creativity is universal, but we don't always believe that. Because how many of you have ever heard yourself, I'm going too fast. How many of you have ever heard yourself say, I'm not very creative? Are you willing to? Yeah, me too. Me too. I took drawing classes. I took photography classes. I took this class and that class. And one day, I took a class in pottery. And in taking that pottery class, what happened was I found that place where I liked the end product. And what I had discovered in that is I did not like the end product of something I did. I really didn't like the end product of drawing, except for one time I drew a shoe that I really liked. It's the only time. But I just didn't like the end product. So what I decided was because I didn't like the end product, I was not creative. And as I began to grow and expand and learn a different definition of creativity, I began to recognize myself as creative. In Unity, we talk about the law of mind action. My favorite way to say it is the law of mind in action, a little different than Mr. Fillmore. But what I like about that is that the law of mind action is really our creativity, because we're always creating. We cannot do anything other than create, because we're always creating. Every thought's a prayer. Do you know that song? Every thought's a prayer. Every thought's a level of creativity. Every thought is what we're putting out into the universe. It's going to come back to us in some way or another. So let's do this. I put out my light. I draw in more light. I put out my light. And I draw in more light. Yeah, because what we put out comes back to us. And how much, do you remember? How much does it come back to us? Tenfold. You know, we teach that in terms of money prosperity, but the truth is that is what happens, energy prosperity too. That's what happens with our thoughts. That's what happens with our frequency, our vibration. So I want to give you a few different definitions of creativity. The first one is Albert Einstein's definition of creativity. Creativity is intelligence having fun. We don't always think about that. Intelligence and fun, but creativity is our intelligence that's really having a good time. And Bruce Lipton and many other authors say that unless we're having fun, we're not learning. So creativity is learning, it's having fun, it's opening ourselves and expanding our awareness to something new, something different. I want to give you another one. Creativity draws on the same brain networks. It's moving around on me. It's drawing around on the same brain networks that are associated with making meaning of our experiences. So we're using the same brain networks that make meaning in order to be creative. And we don't always think about this. And I'm going to talk to you more about this in just a moment. So I want you to just, use your imagination. Write that idea, making meaning, on sort of a tag somewhere or a label, and we'll just hang it. I'm going to hang it right over here in my own imagination. And then creativity involves breaking out of expected patterns in order to look at things in a different way. That's that 6-letter word many of us resist. Starts with a C, yes, starts with a C and ends with an E. Change. Say that, change. Yeah, come on, use your hands, you guys. You said you'd play with me. Change. Yeah, thank you very much for playing with me this morning. We have to change in order to be creative, because creativity is truly learning how to think about something in a new way. It's learning how to make meaning. So when we make meaning of life, because we are unique, individualized expressions of the divine, our meaningfulness is going to look different than somebody else's meaningfulness. It's going to look different from people in your family. It's going to look different than your best friend. Are there going to be similarities? Yes. And yet there are still differences because we are unique, which is beautiful because we're individuals. And yet so often we have been tried by collective consciousness or society to be grouped in a certain way. So we look a certain way, and there's a lot of similarity in that. Trying to look the way everybody else does. Have you ever wanted a certain kind of outfit? I don't mean to leave you men out, but maybe you do this. I don't know. I've never been a man, so I really don't know. But a certain outfit because that's what's in style and that's what people are wearing. And then when I have that kind of outfit on, I feel like I fit in. So somewhere we were taught that fitting in meant that we were the same rather than that we were able to express our creativity. Two of my favorite colors are purple and red. And when I first started wearing them together, people would say to me, "You're not supposed to wear purple and red together." And I would say, "Tell me why that is." But nobody could really give me a good, clear reason. But many people said the same thing to me. You're not supposed to wear those two colors together. So I still wear purple and red together. And, sometimes I wear things that other people don't much care for. And that's okay, because as long as I'm happy in them, that's what counts to me. And as long as you're happy in your outfit, that's what counts to me. I think it's cool, because can you tell a difference? And this takes some creativity. Can you tell a difference when somebody's uncomfortable in their clothing? Yeah, it's obvious. And it's a subtle kind of obvious. It's the same thing as when you're talking to somebody that you really know and you care deeply about, and you hear that shift of their voice, and you know that they're out of their own resonance. Now, we don't want to be judgmental and say, but what we do want to do is just notice it. And then when we come back and bring our own self into resonance because we've heard something different, and we come back to center, we're an invitation to bring to somebody else to come back to their center. We're practicing a form of creativity, but most of us don't think about that as creative expression. We think about being able to paint, to draw, to write music, to play the piano. But living creatively, living in joy is creative expression, and it is a way to expand our creativity. I want to share a study with you from NASA. This study was done with children predominantly that were followed across their lifetimes. By the N is the number of people who were in this study. There were 1,600 people in the study. When children are 4 and 5, they score like 98% on a creative genius scale. That's a lot. And it's really cool. And one of the reasons that happens is because children are not worried about, do you like my picture? They're not worried about if their picture really looks like a giraffe when they bring it to you. Yeah, you get that. Mom, Dad, look what I drew. Isn't this a cool giraffe? And we have learned to say, tell me about your picture. But somebody might have said to one of us, that's not a giraffe. And so we've learned to dampen our creativity. And what we are teaching in unity is how do we open up to our creativity so we live our lives in the fullest way. So we learn to live 98% of the time in our creative genius. And then we're going to have a whole lot more fun. I promise you, and I know that you probably know for those times when you are in the flow of life and you were doing something and you're just going with it and you look up and 3 hours have passed and you are shocked. Have you had that experience? Most of you are raising your hand. Yes, you are nodding. You've had that experience. By the time a child is 4 or 5 years old, they have lost what they're in that creative genius. By the time a child is 9 or 10, they score 30%. That's not many years to drop down, to go from 98 to 30% on a creative genius scale. And again, it's judgment. It's somebody else saying, that's not what you think it is. That's not how I see it, and I want you to see it how I see it, and I'm going to impose my perception onto you. And then by 5 years later, 12% is what's scored. And as an adult, and I'm not exactly sure when this study called adult, but usually it's 21, 2% scored as creative genius. I don't know about you, but I feel sad about that. And I think, and I'm going to encourage us as a spiritual community to find our creative genius again, to really step forward, to step outside of our comfort zone, to be willing to let our creativity be intelligent fun. And I'm going to sort of shift Mr. Einstein around, and I'm going to say our creativity is actually our imagination having fun. It's our imagination having fun. Like, how far can you imagine? And what are you willing to do in terms of your imagination? When I was growing up, I got dinged at home quite often for sitting around playing in my head, in my imagination. And then one day as an adult, I picked up this book called Creative Visualization. I thought, oh, that's what I've done all my life, is play in my imagination. And somebody wrote a book on it, and now I have permission. So if you need some permission to be creative, if you want it from an outside source, if you need it from the outside source, you have permission to be creative. That's right, you have permission. Have fun being creative. Whatever that is for you, let yourself do it. Now, I want to share some more about creativity. There are 3 parts of the brain that are being discovered and explored right now that we don't talk about very much. Many of us know left brain is very linear, sequential, logical, and right brain is more creative. But that's only the very, very top of the idea. There are 3 pieces of the brain: the executive attention network, the executive attention network. And what that is where we spend our time focusing. Like, you're listening now, so you're using that executive attention network. And so when somebody was doing a creativity experiment, they were using their executive attention network. They were focusing, they were being able to tell you, is that color the same? Is that red on the left the same as the red on the right? Is the left line on the left the same as the line on the right? You know, those kind of, if you've ever done anything or looked in the books, that's some of how it's done. Well, those linear kinds of things, that ability to focus, and that's to some degree a learned skill, but it's also to some degree the ability to tune in and to one thing. It's called convergent attention, and let what's around us sort of drop away. And what's around us is called our divergent attention. So we can think about convergent attention and divergent attention. So we converge our attention, and then we also learn how to bring it out wider so we can look at a bigger environment, a bigger, larger, greater expansion of perception. The second piece is called the default network in our brains. The default network is actually our imagination. And a group of researchers started asking the question, when subjects were in looking at lines and colors and the different, what's different in this picture? Did you ever play that as a kid? What's different in this picture? All of those are developing creativity. They're developing our perceptual set, our ability to see the world and to see detail. And so what the researchers started doing when people were engaged in those activities is asking the question, while you're doing this, what else are you thinking about? And they were surprised, which is always surprising about research. They were surprised that people could tell them, oh, I was thinking about watermelon and having watermelon for lunch today. I was thinking about driving, along the highway and seeing this beautiful area. I was thinking about having lunch. So here we are engaged in one activity that's focused, convergent. But in the background, playing in our minds, are all these other activities. That's the divergent. And what we're doing with them is we're playing in our imagination. So children who have difficulty with attention are actually attending. They're not attending to what we want them to be attending to, but they're still attending. They're still developing their attention. And as adults, we're still attending to things, but we may not be attending with our focus on what somebody else wants us to be focusing on. The third piece of the brain that has come forward, and the neuroscientists in an area of psychology called positive psychology have really been looking at this. It's called the salience network. And that's simply the question, is this relevant to me? So you may be asking yourself that question, is this relevant to me? Is what Reverend Nickie talking about relevant to me? And if you see yourself as a highly creative person, you may be going, no, this doesn't count for me. But if you're wanting to move your creativity to a new level, you might be going, yes, this is important to me. This is that hang tag I was talking about. I'm going to bring it back around. When we are using the portion of our brain that is the salience network, then what it does is it brings the energy, it's like a loop, it's like a feedback loop. It brings the energy back to our executive network, executive attention network. And the executive attention network refocuses and said, oh, this is important to us. So you see how our brains work as a loop. And our creativity works as a loop. We're paying attention, we're noticing other things around. We're coming back saying, oh, wait, I better pay attention. This is important for me. It's something I need to learn. It's something I want to hear about. And it all is working together. It's a cycle. And it happens instantaneously. What fascinates me about the brain is a thought happens in 1/4 of a second. 1/4 of a second is how fast thought goes through our brains. And so this is happening to us all the time. It's like when you're having a conversation with somebody and you're focused and you want to be talking to them, all of a sudden it's like squirrel. That's what we say oftentimes. Well, what's happened is your default network, your imagination has been caught by something over here, and your salience in your brain has also kicked in, and then we have to go, oh, wait, I need to refocus my attention and come back to this executive attention. Now, we're not thinking all of this. It's just happening. So next time you're in a situation where you go, oh, I wasn't paying attention, instead of judging yourself, take a breath and say, oh, I wonder what my imagination was playing in. Don't make yourself wrong. Everybody else has done that. Let's be the creators that say, oh, I wonder what else is wanting to emerge here. I wonder what else is looking for expression that's just pushing up against my attention, and then give it the opportunity for expression. Is that something you would be willing to do? To notice the moment that you make yourself wrong and ask yourself, am I willing to see how radically right I am? Am I willing to see how wonderful I am? Am I willing to see how I'm actually in the flow of life, but my life is my unique creative expression? I am the creativity of my own life process, and it's going to look different. And if somebody compares me to them, or if I notice I'm comparing myself to someone else, am I willing to do it differently? So I have some questions. Well, wait, let me back up. I have some questions for you in just a moment, but not right now. I want to talk about how this is salient to us. This is Genesis 1. Now, most of us have heard the initial creation story. This is from the Message Bible. And I want you, as I read this, to use your imagination and see if you can form images in your mind of the words that I'm going to speak. First, this. This is one of the ways the Bible writers got our attention. So this is their way of saying, hey, listen up. First, this. God created the heavens and the earth, all that we see and all that we don't see. So think about what you can see and think about all those things we cannot see. We cannot see all the different waves of energy that are floating through this room. Some of us can see the waves of energy that are flowing off people, and some of us cannot. But there are things in this room, there are things in the world that we're not actually seeing. We are not seeing the electricity that's running the lights or cooling the building down, but it's there, it's invisible to us. So first this, God created the heavens and the earth and all that we see and all that we don't see. So bring your natural curiosity to, I wonder what I'm not seeing that's really present. Earth was a soup. Imagine your favorite soup. Earth was a soup. It was a soup of nothingness. Hopefully your soup has more in it so you can eat it and feel nourished by it. But earth was a soup of nothingness, a bottomless emptiness, or an inky blackness. Think about that. When we're in that very initial part of creativity, we're creating from a soup. We're creating from what often feels like chaos. And that's what this particular biblical writer was describing. Their words to try to get us to imagine that level of chaos. And then God's Spirit brooded. Think about brooding. I always think about like, ooh, kind of like sort of flying over something. God's Spirit brooded like a bird above the watery abyss. I'll get it out in a minute. Like a watery abyss. So think about a bird. In North Carolina where I lived, I loved to be at the ocean as the evening was beginning because the pelicans would get in a line and they would brood over the water and they would go up and down and they would go this way. And I don't know if they were the same pelicans or different pelicans, but soon there comes another set of pelicans coming this way. And maybe I was just in my own world and it's the same pelicans going back and forth. Who knows? But it was so cool to watch because it was so graceful and so expressive of who and what they were as pelicans. And I can't imagine any other bird coming up and saying to them, hey, you're not doing it right. But we as human beings don't seem to think that that's wrong to walk up to somebody else and say, you're not doing it right. People tell me that sometimes and I say, oh, am I not doing it your way? I try to be nice about it, but we all have our way of doing it. So I have some questions for you because I want to make it salient to you. I want to make it relevant to you. And in Unity, the Bible, as Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of Unity, says, the Bible is always an expression of our journey as spiritual beings having a human experience. So some questions to ask yourself. Am I open to new ideas? This is that change piece. When we're not open to new ideas, we are not open to change. And if that's where you are, stay there. Just don't make yourself wrong for being there. Today, I don't want to change, and there's nothing you can do to make me. Let that be okay. Today, I'm angry about change, and that's how I feel. And that's my expression of my creativity today. If you come and tell me that, I'll probably say, yay. Do you want to play with me? And you'll say yes or no, and we'll play or we'll not. But it's okay to be where you're at. Will I shift my thinking to see challenges as opportunities? Will we do that? Will I shift my thinking to see a challenge as an opportunity rather than an obstacle? Oh, wow, I wonder what I can learn from this. Wow, I wonder what new skill I need to bring to this, or what skill that I already have that I'm not using in this manner to bring to this situation, this event, this experience. We can have so much fun when we're open to that level of learning. And how easily can I move between convergent and divergent thinking? You know, it's just like this. So let's play. Think about yourself as a bird. You know, just convergent and divergent thinking. Some of it is that we're not used to doing this. It's unfamiliar. And we look funny. And somebody might say, oh, you look like a nut up there. And I'm going to say to you, yes, I'm a Brazil nut. It's one of my favorite nuts. It's how it is. Let's have a lot of fun with this. Most people lose their creativity and get into that 2% as an adult because we are taught as an adult efficiency rather than variability. We're supposed to be efficient. We're supposed to get it done quickly and accurately. But we lose our creativity when we do that. Until we're so good at it, we can do it efficiently and be creative at the same time. But that takes practice. So being willing to give up efficiency and to let those voices go that are in your head that says, I'm not being efficient enough. I'm not doing this fast enough. Oh, listen to that voice. Whose voice is that? Creativity can be messy, particularly when we're first starting a project. If you've ever done a sewing project or an art project, pottery is very messy. I used to do pottery in San Diego when I lived there, and I would leave the pottery studio and I'd be covered with clay, and I'd go into the grocery store because I needed to go to the grocery store to be able to eat dinner. And I would get a wide berth from people as I went to the grocery store because I was covered with clay. And people were like, oh, what's wrong with her? But it gave me a chance to not have to wait in the grocery store to get to that can of whatever I was going to pick up. So there's a positive to everything if we're willing to look at it. But when we are willing to be messy, something beautiful can come out of it. And there are times when we can be really messy, be creative, and we can get an end product. I've done this many times, and I don't like it. So what's interesting is sometimes other people love my I don't like end product. And they would say, hey, Nickie, can I have this? And I would say, you like that? Well, sure, take it. Or I learned how to reduce stress by going to the dumpster and tossing some of those things I had made into the dumpster and hearing that delightful shatter because it felt good. And then there was space for more creativity. So are we willing to be the creative expressions that we were called to be, that we were created to be? This is from Pam Grout. She says, usually when we aspire to be more spiritual, so when we aspire to be more spiritual, we think of things like being kinder. We think of things like being more understanding, saying more prayer. We think of those things. But in order to fulfill our destiny as spiritual beings, we must also become more creative, more open to the magic, and I'm going to add to this, of life. The deep vistas that gush through our souls. That's spirituality. Living our highest and best life. And is somebody going to think you're not kind? I guarantee it. Yeah. Say, oh, there are times I'm not kind, and there are times I am kind. And somebody has a different expression of kindness than I have. That doesn't mean go and be rude or mean, but you're here in unity. That's not who you are, and you know that. You know that at a deep level, whether you're conscious of that knowingness or not. Are you willing to really fully express your creativity, to let something new come forth? And it could be simple. It could be having a new food you've never tried before. It could be going home a new way. It could be putting on your clothes in a different order. It could be playing around where instead of today when you put your key in your house and you walk in, you put your key in your house, you open the door and you turn around and you walk in. Or you walk in and you say, ta-da, I'm home. Whether you're walking into an empty room or not, ta-da, I'm home. Hello, I'm so happy to be home. I love my house. Beautiful. Think you can do that? You want to have more fun in your life? Play more. Let your imagination have fun. Let your intelligence have fun, because we are truly creative expressions of life. I am a creative expression of life. Say that with me. I am a creative expression of life. I am open to new experiences. I am open to new experiences. Yay, you sound beautiful. Let's take these thoughts into a time of meditation. I am a creative expression of life, and I am open to new experiences, experiences that come from my depth, experiences that come from my soul, experiences that make my heart sing. Am I willing to live life in a new way, beginning today? Take that thought into the sacred and holy sun. And it's going to continue to play beautifully under us. Let the music allow your heart to soar, to open and soar. Say quietly in your mind, I am a creative expression of life. What am I going to do with this most wonderful life that I am in charge of creating? I am a creative expression of life. If it's to be, it's up to me. How exciting to be alive this time and this day with this ability to create. So I'm going to ask you to bring the light up, to bring your attention, your focus, your awareness to this time, this place, this moment, knowing that whatever moves through you in meditation is still with you, it's within you, and you can carry it forward from this moment on and have the best life that you can create, the best life that you can imagine.
Hello, there we are. I'm Karen Piper, representing the board, and a couple of announcements from the board. Jean Bettis had retired from the board or resigned from the board because of health issues, and Stephen Chavez has agreed to take his place. So we're very excited. The other announcement is that Kenya Cribb also had to resign. She moved to Bulkhead City. I'm like, what's up there? But we're very sad that Bullhead City, sorry, but Bullhead, not Bulkhead, Bullhead City. So we miss her terribly, and we're looking for another person to kind of step into the board's role. So our board is very excited, and we're kind of moving forward with lots of planning and agenda. So we're looking forward for another person joining us. So I'm supposed to tell you about Creating Tomorrow. Unity of Mesa records its finances on a fiscal year basis. So this is Creating Tomorrow's second quarter for the period ending the end of March. So the end of the year, the end of December, we actually were able to pay off our loans, which is wonderful. So the loans are the kind of two that are filled in. And then the one in the middle is our next phase, and that's to help bring us into a little bit of modernity. We need to upgrade some of the AV systems, upgrade the phones, upgrade computers. We're a little old, and we're, what do they call it? Out of date. So we need to kind of bring things up. So we're going to continue that. So we've had additional donations, and it brings our total collections, believe it or not, to $305,453. So we're working on improving staff compensation, AV updates, a digital interface, since we're going to continue doing the online presence for people that aren't willing to come to the church, because there's still a lot of people that are watching us on YouTube and Facebook. And some seed money for creating a campus for tomorrow. So what kind of expansions might be needed? So we're going to continue with the donations. So we're very grateful for all of the donations, all of the giving, all of the prosperity that this church has had, considering we've made it through COVID. Yay! You know, there have been many, many churches that have closed down, and thanks to the generosity of the many people that are attending and are part of this church, we've been able to stay open and manage our finances. That and a little bit of the PPP loans from the federal government that helped us kind of get through last year. So we're going to ask people to continue giving to the campaign, and we'll have more details later on what that might look like. So giving on a regular basis, we have our lovely little red buckets. We're still not passing the hat or the bags, I guess they were, but they have the red buckets for donations that you would like to give today. Banco is our online giving. Amazon Smile and Fry's Rewards is also a way of giving kind of indirectly. So whatever you spend on Amazon or Fry's, they give a percentage. I think they can give a larger percentage, but they haven't asked me that. But it does help. It does help. So I would like to thank all the givers and the gifts that we have been able to receive, and ask you to say the prayer with us. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. So thank you so much.
I've always been the kind of girl that hid my face, so afraid to tell the world what I've got to say. But I have this dream right inside of me. I'm gonna let it show. It's time to let you know, to let you know. This is real, this is me. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be now. Gonna let the light shine on me. No more hiding who I want to be. This is me. Do you know what it's like to feel so in the dark, to dream about a life where you're the shining star? Even though it seems like it's too far away, I have to believe in myself. It's the only way. This is real, this is me. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be now. Gonna let the light shine on me. Now I found who I am. There's no way to hold it in. No more hiding who I wanna be. This is me.
Oh, the voice I hear inside my head, the reason that I'm singing, I need to find you. I've got to find you. You're the missing piece I need, the song inside of me. I need to find you. I've got to find you. This is real, this is me. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be now. Gonna let the light shine on me. Now I found who I am. There's no way to hold it in. No more hiding who I want to be.
It makes a difference. There we go. Thank you for being here. There is hospitality in the garden. Chaplains, will you stand up? If you need a prayer or just want to share a hallelujah with somebody, here's your chaplains. What a wonderful group of people. You can say amen to that. Thank you, Stephen and Alyssa.
He
But
says you're
remember,
a missing piece I need, the song inside of me. You're the voice I hear inside my head, the reason that I'm singing. Now I found who I am. There's no way to hold it in. No more hiding who I want to be. This is me.
stand up. Yay. You. Creativity. This is you. This is me. This is how we want to be. Are you willing to be that power and presence of God? Let's close with our prayer for protection as our closing prayer. We have changed. Don't be surprised. We are the light. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love. The power of God protects us. We are the power. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Come to the garden.